against Hawthorn, and don't underestimate the Bombers. They'll be desperate to try and upset the party here.
Have a look at this. Steve McBurney back in the middle there is going to bounce the ball. Game 3, 82 for him. Third on the all-time games umpired. Swan out of the middle. Game is up and underway here, and already a little bit of push and shove. Went without it. In there was Melksham. Jolly the shepherd, but someone's got to go and get the ball. Eventually Goldsack got it onto Tuvey. Bit of a mongrel. Cloak. Contested situation. Missed the ball. Elliott. And just dribbles out the back. Hardingham. Been pretty good year for Kyle Hardingham this year. And eventually a bit of clear ball here for the Bombers as D'Olio goes forward. Brown and Cramery goes to ground. Brown. Cramery keeps his feet. Reid comes in. Hurley. And now the Pies arrive, but kept alive. Cramery around the corner. Good looking bouncing ball. Straight through it goes. The first for the Bombers.
There's Harry O'Brien having a chat to the umpire. Good start. Stuart Cramery kept himself involved in those contests, second and third efforts, and the ball spilled out. And I'm not sure he was going for goal. He had Gus Monfries in the goal square, but it saluted all of them and gone through. So good positive start for the Bombers.
Well, I reckon he's absolutely met this, Cramery. It went through the legs, but the angle that he put on the ball has snuck through. And what you've got up your sleeve when you're a team that's basically out of the finals is you know there is no tomorrow, and you can be reckless in the way you approach the ball. Perfect start for the Bombers.
It is indeed. Cramery with the first. Goldsack with a catch at the umpire deemed hit the deck, gave it to Thomas, squeezed it inside, looking for side bottom. There to try and bust it open was Hibberd. They'll like him in the side. Did well, Howlett. Bang through. Bowled Tuvey over. Hill went and got it. Good play from the Bombers. Certainly setting the scene here at the moment. Melksham, a driving ball, a free kick. It'll go the Bombers' way.
You had your arm around his neck. Yes, you did. Right there. Right there.
Well, you
Much
can
like
already
here,
see
Harry.
there that attack
Much
on the
like
footy
here.
in the middle of the ground. You can see the free kick there against Harry O'Brien for over the shoulder, but the attack on the footy in the middle of the ground by Benny Howlett's really set the scene the way that Essendon are going to approach this game. It's not just a dead rubber, it's a game that means a lot to them.
Monfries, 35 metres out, comes in at the punt road end, and the Bombers are off to a fast start. 2 straight, giving it to Harry O.
Hey, they're right into this game, BT. They are taking it up to them. And as I said earlier, Richo, in your final game, you get the chance to do this. No one wants to get reported from Collingwood. Everyone wants to make sure they're fit for the finals. And it's that little bit of doubt that you can play on. You can get inside the Magpies' face in their space, and they have done that well.
And high stakes for the Magpies. A double chance is massive. We all know that. We know history tells us you need a double chance more than likely to win the flag. They have to win this tonight. But in saying that, you can't just turn it on. They've only won 1 quarter of footy in the last 2 weeks, and this is a great start from the Bombers.
Harry O'Brien there. Monfries, his direct opponent, kicks the goal. Beautiful bounce by McBurney back in the middle. Hill.
Free kick, Collingwood.
The absence of Bellchambers, a late withdrawal, and Jolly's got the ball out of the middle.
That's why he's so solid, Darren Jolly, is it? He just puts his big frame in the right places at the right time.
Kick in towards Cloak, gets rid of one, and he takes the mark. Gee, I tell you what, that'll bring delight to Collingwood fans.
That's huge for Travis. A contested mark within the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game. He's had to contend with Hardingham trying to come third man in on him here. Wasn't Hardingham, sorry, but great contested mark. He'll get a lot of confidence out of that.
The only player to have played every game this year for the Pies. Travis Cloak directly in front, responds, and they get one back, the Pies.
Yeah, that helps a lot, doesn't it? He really monstered his defender there in Cale Hooker. And that is why he has got some big offers on the table, Richo. He still is the leading contested mark player in the game. He has got enormous upper body strength. Gone clunk. He's gone back and slotted one, and that will do him the world of good.
There it is. The Duke's extended, and a nice clunk for Clokey, who kicks his first and shows some great signs early.
Well, he had Hardingham coming in on him in his first contest, and Hibbert it was coming in there. So they're trying to come third man in on him, so that's a good start for Travis.
Watson, the outright favourite for the Brownlow. Maxwell back into the Pies lineup today. Shaw under pressure. Tarrant smothering attempt by Stanton. Kept it alive. Shaw, is that deliberate? Let's see how they feel tonight. Yes, it is. Shaw doesn't argue the point. Bombers get on with it. What is good.
Kick that was, BT. That was just absolutely perfection across his body. This is a man who was criticised right throughout the first part of his career that he couldn't kick the footy. Deliberate paid, and I think it was the right call. Look at that, across your body. As a forward, you could not get a better ball than that. Hurley just had to run and get on the end of it.
Didn't have to break stride. Absolutely nothing Reid can do in that scenario. And he's got his, gee, that wrist must be sore still. He's got it strapped up heavily.
Hurley 35 metres out. It's been a game of accurate goal kicking so far.
There's good energy around the Bombers at the moment, Richo. The question will be, can they keep it up for 4 quarters? And there's certainly a huge amount of doubt in my mind around that. But I'm sure that they had a lot of talk this week about how disastrous a drop-off the second part of the year has been, and they've come out with a bit of intensity here to start this one tonight.
And there's young Jackson Payne. First game, sorry, this year, is it? No, sorry, his 5th game this year, but his first game for a while, coming in for Chris Dawes. 7 goals. He's a big boy. He's a future forward for the Pies.
Yes, he is, and played the 6 games, of course, this year, as you mentioned, Richo, and he'll be the one they want to fire in the absence of Dawes. They prefer Dawes to fire as well. Here's Zaharakis, another entry as well, and the Bombers look on fire here at the moment. Under the pump, the Pies defence. Here's Wellingham right on the boundary line. Kick needs to be perfect. It is. Swan. Pendlebury on his favoured left side. Kick was out in front of Goldsack, but he went the other way. Hardingham with a big spoil. Hill's got running support in Stanton as well. Stanton just taking his time. Got it over the top. Finds Merritt. The first gamer. 60 metres out. Good kick. Hurley. Great kick. Great poise shown by the young man Merritt.
Oh, Scotty Pendlebury really disappointed with that kick inside 50. He just put it to the wrong side of Tyson Goldsack. And we have done a lot of Essendon games on a Saturday night, and we were very excited about the start of the year because they transition it so fast from one end of the ground to the other. They turn defence into attack almost as quickly as any side the comp, Richard.
And it was that quick ball movement that caught Ben Reid out. He got caught in front of Hurley. There was nothing he could do about it. When the ball moves that quickly, you give your key forward such a good opportunity. Chance for his 2nd.
Chance for their 4th, and hits the post. He really went the low hard option there. Post was part of the action. Has a bit of a wry smirk to himself. Probably just needed his normal action there rather than trying to really belt the leather off the ball. Starting substitutes tonight. Didak, of course, for Collingwood. Brown, who was the late inclusion. Initially, Merritt, the first gamer, was the sub, who's been elevated as a result of Brown's inclusion. The son of Murray Brown, former Collingwood player, of course.
Great start from the Bombers early stages this first quarter. The obvious question is going to be, have they got the ability to run in their legs to continue it for 4 quarters, or will it be that the gun midfielders, the Beams, the Swan, the Pendlebury, the side bottom, all get involved, Dale Thomas, and just run over the top of them as this game wears on?
Backdoor Watson, little kick, did well. Hurley was there, Swan as well, Johnson. Beams, now side bottom. So some of the big hitters combining there. Here's Cloak again. Need to extend. Here's Cracker. What a story it is for him. Getting in the way of Bagley again. Now Watson through the middle. Bit of a fake handball wide. Goes long with a kick. It's a good ball. Had to stop and prop Cramery. And now Maxwell to tidy.
It's a fast game early. Both teams have been able to come through the corridor pretty easily.
Thomas. Not sure why he went to ground, but he's got himself a free. Chris Donlan saying it's yours, Daisy.
A real shootout feel about it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It shows space everywhere.
I'm not sure Collingwood would want that coming in to the finals next week.
65, 70,000 here tonight. Here's Cracker. He's got good hands. He'll want to play on here. He'll come back now. So he's too far out to score. He's not a big kick of the footy.
It's normally pretty creative in this situation.
Patience and poise the key here for Cracker. Kicks it, draws one player to the ball who really didn't come enough, in pain. And in all sorts is Pairs. Handball out for Solo. And his left side needs to bounce. It does. And another one to the Pies.
No, he's a good finisher around goals, Alex Fasolo. The Bombers will be disappointed with that. I thought they'd locked it away for a stoppage. The ball spilled out to Dane Beams, and Fasolo just had too much space. If you're going to knock the ball out, you don't want it going back into the corridor. It was too easy for the Pies.
Dane Beams' work forward of centre for a midfielder this year has been just amazing to watch. Always gets deep into the contest, has kicked a heap of goals and set just about as many up as well.
Bombers by 7. Hill again, hands on the ball. Another clearance to Swan, entry inside 50 as well. Gee.
Free kick.
Hands in the back, let's see what he says.
Just put the hand in the back. Are you joking or not?
There you go. Ask the umpire whether he's joking.
Quite a polite way to ask that, wasn't it, Brian?
Couldn't really penalise him for that, could he?
He had a perplexed look on his face. He'll take Pairs.
Jackson Payne will line up from just outside 50. Needs to swing right to left. Got the journey, but just not the accuracy. His goal umpire, Chelsea Roffey, indicates.
He was really confident that he was going to go back and kick that. Payne. Here's Trevor Cloak getting knocked over on
his attempt at lead there.
Yeah.
Monfree's knocked away. Harry O'Brien did well not to infringe. Side bottom's now got a clean loose ball. He retreats to find a bit of space and time as they look to set up through Reid.
Stay there, Michael.
Reid at half back to Nathan Brown. His brother Mitch played on this ground last night for West Coast on the Superstar Franklin. And here is Nathan, a left footer. A long ball. Cloak not there. Wellingham takes the mark. A push.
He's a red hot on any contact in the back tonight. I don't know, they've set a very technical standard for any contact at all.
And saying that, Essendon let Brown come through the middle far too easily then. Just waltzed through and put it inside 50.
Gee, it was well done by Jolly to give Pendlebury the space. Now Cloak on the lead again. This is going to do his confidence wonders, Richo.
It is. That's 2 contested marks now, but when you've got the ability to come through the middle of the ground like this, like Scott Pendlebury did, it makes it that much easier for your forwards. You can lead either side of the ground, you can lead up the middle, and it's just that much harder to defend. So that was great play by Scott Pendlebury, put it out in front. And this is huge for the Pies. If he can get up and going tonight and feel good about his footy.
29-21 from set shots this year. He's has been better than that. He's been up and down a little bit in that area, but here he is with a chance to level the scores early in the game. Kick was just offline always.
You know, sometimes you get a feeling that a matchup isn't going to work, Richo, and I think a forward is looking around his shoulder. I think Cloak's going, I've got Carl Hooker here tonight. Please get me the opportunity one-on-one. As James heard, it may be early, it might be showing faith, but I'd make the change now.
Shaw, handball, a look, pulled the kick in the end, got the handball out. Now, it's all to do for Elliott. Around the corner, just across the face again. Bagley does the defensive work.
I know the other school of thought, Richo, is to say you back your player in, you send him back. But you've got Pairs and Hooker, about the same sort of player. Roll them over, and then straight away Cloak gets that down. I've got to beat a second one already.
Off hands. Hibberd. Side bottom to Thomas. He can go from here. Unselfishly went. Couldn't find Cracker, though. Good tackle by Goldsack on Pairs.
It's certainly got that feel about it, that matchup. And I think the key is that he's taken 2 contested marks. So That's where your confidence really comes up as a forward. When you're getting them out on your own on a lead, not so much. But when they're contested, you start to feel really good about yourself as a forward.
O'Brien, high ball, hasn't got the journey, right into the goal square. Bounced off Cloak's arm in the end.
He had him done then as well. The third man didn't come in.
It's not just Essendon too who'll be getting nervous about that one. There'll be a couple of teams that are going to be playing finals who do not want Travis Cloak hitting form late in the season.
You're quite right, Lingy. Melksham said he didn't take the ball over, and I'm inclined to agree with him.
It was interesting picking up the umpire mics, and we get them through here very loud and clear, and they gave Travis Cloak a warning on that last mark. Said any more force, he would have paid a free kick, which staggers me.
Beams. Once again, Cloak. Here's the force again you speak of. Goes at it. Gee, that could have almost been a free kick. Nothing on offer, Hardingham. Not true to his word the other way then, the umpire.
But you see that, BT, he would have marked that again if it wasn't for the third man, so he's bodying up well now.
Johnson found Elliott. Elliott on the lead, immediately turns around, looks for and finds Beams. And they're just looking a little bit more controlled all of a sudden.
Yeah, I reckon he would have taken that on his chest.
Just the strength difference is just staggering to watch. Cale Hooker, in a standing start, cannot even go close to holding his ground in the contest with Travis Cloak at the moment. And how about this man? 9th disposal already.
What a year he's had as well. So he's got really not a lot of angle, as you can see there. There's virtually no wind at this ground tonight, and he's just pulled that slightly to the left.
The Essendon defenders know the ball's going to Cloak because Hardingham's come in on him, Bagley's come in on him, Hibberd has come in on him, so they're conscious of it. So I think they know that he's got a strength advantage.
Down the middle. Shaw got bumped under the ball nicely. Stanton's able to advance it. Reed gets back, couldn't hold the mark and couldn't control it. Now Zaharakis wants to put him to the nest. A little soccer in favour. They do it very, very nicely indeed. O'Brien kicks the goal for the Bombers.
Oh, Zaharakis did that really well. Ben Reid only went to ground for a split second, but as a defender, as soon as you go to ground or stumble at all, you give the forwards an opportunity. Zaharakis kept it in front of him, knew he didn't have time to pick it up, socketed it out in front, and it's a great goal. Young O'Brien socketed it through as well, so created something out of nothing really then, the Bombers.
So the 4th Bomber goal of the quarter. They lead it by 9 points, and Zaharakis did well to get it into the path of O'Brien there, give him a chance. Pye searching for a double chance finish in the top 4 here tonight, and the Bombers making it real hard for them right here and right now. Kick is long over the head of O'Brien, although he didn't let it pass to Olio on the chase. The kick is wide for Solo, couldn't get there.
Just a little fumble there from Dane Swan, and a lot of focus has gone onto the Magpie forward line, as it should. Chris Dawes has been dropped, Travis Cloak has been out of form. But I reckon their midfield, who I still rate as the best in the competition at full flight, have just been down a notch. Dane Swan missed 2 weeks. Pendlebury's just down a touch. Dale Thomas down a touch, and I think they need that all-time good form back.
Now the umpire called play on then. I reckon he had 2 bites of it, but lucky for him, the boundary umpire said it was out.
Yeah, second grab looked over the boundary line, but it's another mark, really.
Was Maxwell down it for Solo. Now Swan got Johnson on his favourite side. A little heavy on the handball. Picked up in the end. Long ball from O'Brien again inside the Bomber forward 50. Crammery a shot around the corner, misses.
Well, the good sign for Collingwood is they're going really well in the contested footy. I know they were disappointed with that area against West Coast last week. It's been a focus during the week. Scott Pendlebury talked about it, and that's on track. They're doubling Essendon at the moment. They're just very efficient going forward, the Bombers.
Shaw and Payne trying to keep it alive. Payne got himself a free, immediately played on. Good kick to Cracker. Great hands overhead. Had 27 touches in the VFL last week, Andrew Cracker, with 10 tackles. Outstanding form.
He's looking all right, BT.
His hands look good, don't they? Really good for a guy that's missed so much footy.
He's always had elite hands. He's a one-touch player, Andrew Cracker.
He played 3 games in the VFL, so he's had a little bit of footy. Not ideal preparation by any means for this part of the year. Here's Melksham. Kick is good. Not finding the target though. Maxwell to Cracker. Cracker, little nifty one, wasn't so creative. Heppel, the combination of handballs is good. Once again, O'Brien gets a look here. Went wide with the handball to the link-up player in Hardingham. Great kick to Monfries. He turns around from 55, pumps it long. Good-looking ball. Over the back to Olio, got a hand on it.
Well, I can understand why you go the long option. Michael Hurley on the little darting lead absolutely was out in his own, Richo, and he had every right, I reckon, as well, to be pretty upset about it. Probably you go the just easy 15-metre pass, don't you?
Yeah, it was just a little weighted kick to grass. Hurley had made a beautiful lead straight at him. Saying that, the kick was onto the top of the square as well, but I reckon you honour the lead going inside 50.
Cloak again, this time in the presenter. That one's off the instep, wasn't his best. Kick forward, trying to move it quickly. Dempsey kept it alive. Dempsey now. A pick up here by Bagley around the corner. Cloak's there. Hill over the top. Well done, Hill. Brings it to ground. Pendlebury, brilliant hands. Got it to Wellingham. Thought about the kick to side bottom. Pulled it back. Went the longer, deeper option. Elliott trying to spin out of the pack. And once again, the Bombers in defence do it nicely, but a 2-on-1. Wellingham near the boundary, down the line, and finds Elliott. Short kick from Elliott into the pocket of Goldsack.
I reckon enough has been made of Lee Brown's absence from this side, obviously retired. I think Tyson Goldsack has tried to play a similar type of role, and he's actually done it pretty well, but when they were firing, it was Dawson Cloak, but everyone forgot about how important Lee Brown was.
And they miss the little spell that he gives them in the ruck as well, don't they? A forward pocket that can play ruck occasionally was Lee Brown, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he did it in such a great manner. As we take a look at this lead from Hurley, Richo.
Yeah, this is the one you were talking about, and he is out by 2 metres there. He's got a right to be a little bit annoyed because that's an easy kick. That's a lane work kick at training, so you don't get many opportunities like that as a forward.
He didn't seem to be all that happy about not receiving it either.
He's disappointed.
Tarrant was slightly disappointed, Richo. Bit of an understatement. O'Brien, little kick through. The Bombers
out here.
Jetta over the top. Hurley's got lots of space. Look at them. 3 Bombers. 2 of them have got lots and lots of space. One of them, champion Watson, went back inside to Stanton, trying to get rid of Swan. Got him. Didn't connect with the ball, so free to Swan.
That's a genuine goal-saving tackle, that one, Richo. His teammates will appreciate that. They had numbers everywhere, isn't it?
Here's Tuvey. Thought about the second bounce, went the hit to Goldsack on the lead in front of Myers.
Boys, that's what makes Collingwood such a good team. When you've got your Brownlow medalist, your star player, doing all the real quality defensive things, that is just a fantastic tackle. It'll lift the team.
It's got an open field to it, Lingy, this game. What's it like at ground level?
Oh, absolutely. It's racing up and down at the field at the moment. And I like the way Essendon are going about it, but I think Collingwood are, as Hardingham takes that one, but Collingwood have probably just putting on the pressure a little bit at the moment and causing turnovers.
The kick's not so good. Travis Cloak is a thumping kick, and side bottom immediately says to him, go back and kick it. And notice Maxwell doing a little bit of ruck work forward end as well a couple of times.
He has, yeah, which is surprising.
Well, Dawes would normally take that, take the second roll. This is a big kick. When you're out of form, you don't get turnovers coming to you. All of a sudden, these sort of things start happening, getting a kick straight to him on the turnover, Cloak.
So Cloak, distance not a problem from him. There's the task at hand. That is a magnificent strike of the ball from Travis Cloak, who has found form in the first quarter.
Good to see his teammates get around him. Darren Jolly ran an extra 50 metres just to make sure he gave him a pat on the back. And they know how important it is to have the big man up and firing.
Yeah, 4 marks already, 2 goals. It's good to see. When you're struggling, the ball just never seems to come to you. But then when you start getting in form, it doesn't matter where you go, it falls in your hands.
What I enjoyed about that was a heap of his teammates. Have a look at this. They all got over him. Ben Johnson. Here comes Dane Beams. Darren Jolly ran 80 metres out of his way to get over and get around their big forward.
David Hill that time jumped into him before the ball came down.
Yep, significant moment for him, Das, no doubt. Here's Hill. Hammers that one inside. Third, fourth man up. Reed. Shaw now pushed out of the way by Melksham. Well done by him. Now Howlett to tidy it up. Tries to don't argue, but he had Ben Johnson coming at him with momentum. And Johnson handled the don't argue very well.
Just putting the arm up's not prior opportunity.
Umpire McBurney explaining the rules to Benny Johnson there. Stanton lurking. Cracker in traffic.
Cracker's free kick. Cracker's free kick. Cracker's free kick.
That'll be
Andrew Cracker, dangerous kick.
Boys,
free
as
kick.
we've seen Collingwood do a little bit lately, they pushed Dane Swan one out inside the forward 50 to try and isolate him and use his body strength to try and pinch a goal.
Cracker with an unusual free given to him there, as Stanton tried to strike the ball out of the air, soccer style.
Yeah, good point Lee has picked up on there. And I think that is going to be part of their plan come September, is to try and get their gun midfielders isolated at full forward with a different forward structure.
Kick was behind Wellingham on that occasion, gave a Heppel a chance. Now Hill back to Melksham. Melksham had no other opportunity other than to go down the line under pressure. Finds Maxwell. Short ball to Beams.
This is the old Collingwood boundary play, BT. We've seen this a lot over the years. They're still the #1 boundary team in the competition.
They still are?
They still are, yeah.
Beams, long ball, Swan at the back, Cloak in front. Plenty fly, here's
Oh, there it
Cracker.
is.
So good at that. He's an MCG specialist, remember, Andrew Cracker. He specialises at this ground, Richo.
His ability to extract the ball out of really tight situations, that crumb there, I've seen him do that so much over the years. Just about the best crummer I've seen, I reckon, or played with, definitely.
Beams around the corner, good finish for him.
He's a genius, Dane Beams. Just keeps doing it, getting it in that part of the ground. And he's so reliable around the goals. Missed one earlier. Just finds the footy. 11 disposals already. A goal. He's put together a sensational season. Go very close to winning the Magpies' best and fairest and Copeland Trophy this year.
Have a look at this. Dane Beams with ease, as Das mentioned, around the corner. Collingwood in front for the first time in this game. It's taken them 27 minutes to make their way to the front.
They've dominated possession, 100 possessions to 58, but the Bombers have just been efficient when going forward. Here they go again.
Melksham waits for Stanton just behind him. Stanton, nice little present-up ball. Crameri on the lead.
No. Thank you, right there, right there.
It's a big kick, but this might just test him, although I reckon a chance to go all the way from here, Stuart Crameri.
You're backing him, BT.
I reckon he's got the wheels, as we see Nathan Buckley coming through the race and arriving at ground level.
It's a bit of grass. 15 to 20 out with a bit of space. You should probably put it there.
Crameri needs to bend it back, and he does put it about there, Richo.
A bit too far. I reckon you need to get that one. If you can't make the distance, probably about 15 metres out, let your forwards run and jump at it.
Is that a frustrating thing for a forward when you know the teammate that he perhaps can't make it, yet he attempts to?
But the person kicking always thinks they can kick a little bit further.
Yeah,
everyone's been guilty of that over the years.
I used to get a bit annoyed.
You would have thought you would have kicked it from there, though.
No, I would have known my limitations.
So you never got carried away with your limitations?
Wouldn't have thought so. Swan, Richo.
I reckon everyone has at some point.
Just looking to make excuses for yourself. Here's Reed. Pendlebury. Wider for the Pies, who are starting to look a little more ominous. Elliott, who can get out of the loop here. Didn't have the patience, although Goldsack did well. Beautifully presented kick from Elliott, though.
Yeah, this role has really suited him, hasn't it, Richo? I like the way he does a defensive role, but he's kicked more goals and got more of the footy than you would have thought playing up forward.
Collingwood runner just come out just before the siren sounded, said don't do anything silly. Good professional play for the Pies. So Goldsack, a chance to advance the Collingwood lead to 8 points here after the quarter-time siren. Good crowd in on a beautiful night in Melbourne, and that is a perfect strike. Collingwood with the last 3 goals of the quarter, as they salute in all different shapes, sizes and looks. A little bit of grumpiness as they come to the quarter-time break. We've got a game for you. Collingwood, 5-5-35, lead the Bombers 4-3-27.
And the fifth marks inside 50. So bad form, but able to turn it around, hopefully.
One of the most scrutinised seasons ever by Travis Cloke for obvious reasons, but he's still been okay. So a lot to like about his game. His contested marking's his #1 feature.
Second quarter gets underway. Just to remind you, Collingwood need to win this for a double chance. That's what's at stake for them. And if they do lose, they wouldn't have lost 3 in a row since 2008 to finish a year. Around the corner was Myers. Inside 50 again. Hurley tried to pick up. Swan did well to Maxwell. Unusual kick by Maxwell. He knew what he was doing. Reid won't get there, and the bounce will now. The Bombers surround. Watson's got him. Did well. Thought about the short kick. Went wide with the handball. Not quite sure why to O'Brien. O'Brien goes back for a second attempt. Heppel kept the arms free. Reid to side bottom. Pursued by Dempsey. Myers around the corner with a swinging left boot. That's on line. What a ripping kick from Myers.
What a great kick off one step around the body from Myers. Just travelled the journey easily. I didn't think it was going to make the distance, but a good start to the quarter again by the Bombers. Joe Watson, she's got clean hands on 50 there before. He set young O'Brien away, couldn't handle the handball, but he's been good again tonight. The skipper, 8 touches, a couple of clearances.
Gee, Myers from beyond the arc there, it was great, and you can just start to see the tension build on Nathan Buckley, can't you, knowing that this is a double chance here, and at the moment the Bombers are extremely competitive.
It would be an absolute disaster if this game was lost for the Magpies, and credit to Essendon, they are setting a challenge here.
They're cracking in. Swan. Here's Cloke again now. This is not beyond him if he gets momentum. He winds up, he goes big and long, vacant goal square. Payne! The other player they want to take overhead marks.
That is a great play by Travis Cloke. I loved how he came up on the lead and he didn't hesitate. When you're confident, you just wheel around and do things naturally. Banged it in there. Had a good synergy with Payne. He knew that he was behind him, and that was another good contested mark. 4-0.
Chris Donlan's corrected his initial decision. He said it was in the goal square, so you get the benefit of being directly in front, and Payne kicks the goal for the Pies, and they lead Das by 8 points.
And that is the best possible play that you would hope for when you're trying to restructure your forward line. You bring a young man in for his 6th game for the year, Jackson Payne. Cloke does what he does best when he plays well. Richo just mentioned
instinct,
the attack and then the quick play on, and Payne takes a nice grab. We said at the start, got to change that matchup around. I just think Hooker looks totally all at sea at the moment on Travis Cloke.
Yeah, because Cloke played on quickly and just got it in there, it didn't give the Essendon defenders any opportunity to get back and go 2-on-1 on young Payne, and that's all he wants, a one-on-one opportunity. Great work, Travis Cloke.
Nice little clip from Pears for his work as well.
Got to make him earn it.
He didn't even worry about it at all. Hill, Watson, who's already had a good start to this game. Beams just a little firm with the handball to Pendlebury being so close. Maxwell could have admitted himself at the ground level, but Watson again. Now what's the Bombers spread here? Kick is wide. Zaharakis is the target. Dropped a real easy one. Now Stanton gets a look and goes inside 50 with a long ball. Reid in front, off hands. O'Brien again. I think he might have kicked his 2nd goal. He has.
Little Nick O'Brien, who is playing his 2nd game. He's got 3 career goals already. And a little classy left footer he is. Kicked a goal in his 1st game. And popped up the right spot a couple of times already.
Yeah, he's getting to the right spot. 6 disposals, 4 of them contested, a couple of goals. In his 2nd game, he'd be feeling really good at the moment.
Well, the young boy from Ballarat, Nick O'Brien, I know that Essendon coaching staff really rate this kid highly. They love the way he goes about his footy, his leadership. They reckon he's going to be an absolute jet, and he's got a huge tank on him too, so expect him to spend a lot of time in the midfield in his career.
Doc Larkins is down on the boundary with us. Doc?
Yeah, good evening, Brian. Michael Hibbard coming back from a hamstring problem. Has just gone down the race, Brian, with the club doctor for Essendon about 30 seconds ago.
What's the history of that hamstring? How recent was that, Doc?
Just 3 weeks back, Brian.
Gee. Okay, keep an eye on that one there. Don't tell me another soft tissue for the Bombers.
Sorry.
Umpire having a little bit of trouble there with the straight bouncing.
Broken every record for the soft tissue news this year. It's just been a horror story for them.
Well, if they don't get one tonight, they'll probably be disappointed, Das. All the staff are ready to treat. No, it's been a tough year for them, really has, and I'm sure they'll address that situation.
Well, the exciting thing is you know you can correct it. And look, I don't think there's any real fallout from it, apart from the fact they pushed them really hard and they wanted to. Probably went a bit over the top in their training. They'll know how to adjust it next year. But the game is on tonight, and they've come out and really set the challenge to the Pies. A big game here tonight.
Yeah, the longer the game goes, the more tense and the scoreboard pressure starts to mount, and that can do things to your brain.
Well, all of the key indicators that we normally judge games on, Collingwood are miles in front, contested possession and the clearances, and they're just winning the weight of numbers, but they're still in the game, Essendon, so that would worry the Collingwood coaching staff a little bit.
Well, that's what they need to do regularly, is to get third man across. Hardingham does it nicely, and give Cale Hooker, if they're going to keep him on Travis Cloke, he just desperately needs some support because he's being out-muscled every time.
Side bottom, connection with the boot. Cloke was able to keep his feet, but the boundary line was always going to be a worry.
I'll tell you what, there's one person watching this game tonight who's not enjoying it, the resurgence of Travis Cloke, and that's Alistair Clarkson. I reckon should they be playing him in the first week of September, he does not want Cloke in form.
And just a minute to think, likely opponent for Cloke if that were to happen, Lingy, as Collingwood pick up the ball here, Tuvey. Little one along the ground, Hill's got on the end of it. What do you reckon the matchup would be there?
Well, if there's any weakness in Hawthorn, and there's not a lot at the moment, it's the fact that they do struggle with a big quality key forward who's taking grabs, and that's why they especially don't want Travis Cloke in form, because it'd be a Gibson or a Schoen makers who'd have to go to him, and they have struggled in the contested marking situations against big key forwards.
Down to Doc on Hibbert. Doc, what do you know?
Yeah, this is a right hip. He's just pinched the right hip, Brian. They've just given him the all clear, Hibbert.
Here's Heppel. He sought to Olio and just didn't have the strength from the kick. So you think he'll be okay, Doc?
Yes, I do, Brian. He's been given the all clear to go back. We'll see how he moves.
Monfries here inside the centre square. Buckley rather frustrated. A long ball. Side bottom lost his man and then interfered with him. And that, in fact, it was Wellingham that lost his man and Afrida Zaharakis.
Yeah, forward contact, and you could just see Nathan Buckley with that look of dismay on his face. It was Wellingham who just took on more than he needed to. Didn't have to play on. Zaharakis put the pressure on. Kick comes back in. Zaharakis gets the wall with a real certain shot directly in front, Richard.
Yeah, you can't turn the ball over.
Zaharakis to put the Bombers back in front, and he does by 4.
Yeah, when you're exiting your back 50 like that and you turn the ball over 60 metres out, that's what normally happens. It goes back over your head for a goal, and unfortunately that's what's occurred there with Sharad Wellingham.
And BT, I'm talking about possible opponents for Travis Cloke from Hawthorn. If Essendon keep playing like this, it risks Collingwood actually finishing up in, well, you can see there on the live ladder, in 6th position. More than likely finishing 5th, but if they drop to as far as 6, end up playing in an elimination final. Don't worry about who the matchup for Hawthorn's going to be.
That is fascinating, Lingy. The live ladder we're looking at the moment, Collingwood down. They are in 6th position. There's John Longmire looking on, of course. He got beaten today, the Sydney Swans. And Fremantle's the interesting story as well, trying to see if they get a home final. Huge amount to play out here tonight.
Fremantle have got to win that game by less than 6 points to avoid a travel in their first final.
And it depends whether Collingwood go into the top 4 and West Coast finish 5th. There's still a lot to play out there.
Are you prepared to let it go beyond 6 points for the benefit of a home final?
Well, it's a fascinating situation, isn't it? I mean,
but they've got to keep an eye on this game as well, because if Essendon win, it changes everything again. So you just got to win the game, I think.
Wellingham to Shaw. Cloke again. Did his man Hooker, and he's got a look from directly in front.
He just lost his footing Kale Hooker, and you mentioned it before, Richo, when you're out of form, sometimes you just need one to fall your way. You need some good delivery. You need a bit of space. Your defender slips over. Just a couple of things going Cloak's way at the moment.
It's all happening for him. You know, turnover kicks going straight to him. He's
20 goals,
as you just said, the defender falling over.
Cloak for his third goal here, and to place Collingwood back in front at the punt road end, and he's given that one a bit of a yank to the right-hand side.
You've got to wait for the signal. You can't just go taking the ball out of the bucket like that.
So you heard the umpire. Must wait for the umpire to signal before you can go. This is what happened on that occasion by Hibbert, and he finds Hill on the lead. Hill thought about the line, went risky back inside. Howlett didn't let him down.
They've been able to do this, though, BT. The last couple of times they've gone forward, Heppel got the ball in the middle. That time it was Hibbert.
Goldsack infringed there and gave away a needless free. Now Bagley gets the ball even wider. Hardingham inside, looking for Watson, confronted by Beams. Put the body in Beams. Little handball out the side door. Johnson to Pendlebury. They do well, the Pies, for Solo now at halfback for Collingwood. Thomas running real hard to get on the end of that.
That was sensational gut run from Dale Thomas. He had Stanton alongside of him. Just through sheer work rate was able to burn him off there.
Why is that play on? He didn't step over the mark. For Solo, kicks to a pack of players, and in front was Crameri, took a mark. Stanton. Howlett over the top if he wants him. He goes in that direction. The run by Dempsey was tempting. Now Howlett sees an opportunity with Jeddah. Couldn't quite hold on to it, Jeddah. Swan, cool. Maxwell, the skipper. Tuvey says, you go. Swan nurses to Payne. And Payne says, steady. Wanted to retreat.
He had to wait there because there was nothing in front of him to go to. Had to wait for his teammates.
Wellingham and Swan both set themselves at the back. Bagley just kicks around the corner. Maxwell in front. Melksham tries to spoil. Did well without infringing. Payne caught one high. Umpire said no. He ducked into it.
I think that's the real challenge. Maxwell back in the side, always vocal out there, Richo, is that when you bring someone like Jackson Payne in who hasn't played with this group of players, you're just getting to understand the nuances and how and when they want you to go, when they want you to hold back. It takes time, and he hasn't got it. He's got to fit in straight away.
Heppel did well. Strong. Howlett, great hands. Zaharakis in a little bit of space. An edgy kick that wasn't great. Shaw, the interceptor, goes wide. His kick wasn't so good either to Payne. Yeah, could have gone a little more direct. He says sorry.
A couple of clanging kicks there. The Bombers were out one way, and the turnover from Heath Shaw could have been the reverse. Hey, you picked it earlier, BT, but Nick Maxwell is the second ruckman tonight for Collingwood.
Yeah.
Good luck.
All of the forward end ruck work.
And that's 2 ball-ups in a row where Scott Pendlebury has actually taken the hit out, third man up. So they're having to experiment, Lingy.
Spot on there, Richo. I can see Maxwell basically almost trying to take Hill's body, and Pendlebury trying to go the third man up. Howlett now trying to block Pendlebury, but...
Yeah, well done.
Well, you got it absolutely spot on then. Zaharakis was the blocker.
Can't push him out.
Beautifully picked, boys.
Well, that was 3 times in a row he's gone. Look at that. Gone to go up third man. It's worked.
Pendlebury from 50 as a result. It's online. Hasn't got the journey. Hardingham is marked on the line. I don't think Hardingham touched it. And Cloak's been paid the mark. How about that?
Move out, please.
Gee, it's just clunking into his hands now, Travis.
On his 24th birthday, Kyle Hardingham went straight through him. And Cloak will line up his third goal. A certain goal for Collingwood, and they're back in front by 3 points.
Well, we've been talking about it all night. Things just start to go your way. Cloak probably thought there's no chance that ball's getting over the top of everyone's hands here. And all of a sudden, he takes the mark and kicks the goal. So it is all happening for him. It should have been punched through. It wasn't, and Cloak kicks his third goal. He's now taken 7 marks for the game.
Have a look at what happened here with Gold Coast Cam. You can see Cloak, a little nudge there. And a great illustration of precisely what went on. The nudge in the side, maybe the left hand in the back, but nevertheless, that's how it got over the top.
Last week, Hardingham would have punched that drill. Cloak wouldn't have marked it, but it's all happening for him tonight.
Did I say Gold Coast Cam?
I think you did,
Gold Cam.
Bristle, yeah.
Not the Gold Coast Cam.
No.
Just Gold Cam. Here's Cracker. The specialist at the G.
Oh, look out.
Cloak again!
They got it. Darsh, you called this early.
But I'll tell you what, Richo, it's a fascinating thing to watch someone, because I've just had my whole eyes on Travis Cloak for the whole time since he kicked the last goal. He's been saying to her, get out of the space, get me one-on-one. The last two games that we've called Collingwood, I don't reckon I've seen him say a word. Your body language is up, your confidence is there, and the footy just starts coming your way.
And Andy Cracker's marking it 55 out and drilling it towards you. Like
Oh boy, how things change when this man is in form for the Pies. Misses his fourth, but he's had 5 or 6 shots for goal. And have a look at the reaction here, as he just so desperately wanted that. And doesn't it make a difference? It just turns the whole fortunes of the club around. It's a guy like that in form.
When you speak to players out of form, when you've been out of form yourself, is you hear people say, you've just got to go back to doing the basic things. You've got to use your voice more. You've got to get your body language right. Sometimes it's the chicken and the egg. Now Cloak is up and running. Everything's going.
Don't know about you, Darcy. I can't remember being out of form, but on freeze. Obviously had a few form matches yourself.
It's not what Lee Matthews has been saying.
No, that's true. D'Olio did well. Monfrey spins around, gets a real clean look. Heppel. 45 out.
Gee, it's an end-to-end game.
Yeah, that's it.
Never seen this man's year, Heppel, so far. Guys, after such an exhilarating year last year.
He won the NAB Rising Star Award last year. Always hard to back up as a second-year player. I think he's been really solid.
To put the Bombers back in front, Heppel sticks to the line and just offline. In fact, barely got the distance. Dangerously keeping it alive, the Pies. Johnson's got to get rid of it. Was that a legal disposal? The umpire said it was okay. Beans caught, clobbered by D'Olio.
Gee, that was a late call.
In the back, says the umpire.
Right decision, but just hesitated a little bit with the whistle. Dyson Heppel, he's still finding the foot. He had plenty of touches against Richmond last week. We just kept turning it over. I think he had 12 turnovers for the game.
They're out here, the Pies. I reckon that was the wrong decision. Should have gone short to Payne. Elliott was set a task.
What a brilliant mark that was by Bagley going back, BT. You're right, Maxwell had 3 options, and that was the worst of the 3. And they're just making some poor decisions at the moment, Collingwood. Keeping Essendon right in this contest.
First. Thanks, Nate.
And the longer this goes on, too, you just feel a little more building. And as we know, a lot at stake tonight. Top 4 up for grabs for Collingwood. And stick with us. Andrew Dimitro's going to join us right after the game. He's going to give us all the permutations. The first you'll hear of it will be with us tonight. Andrew Dimitro, the CEO, is going to tell us who plays where and when and at what ground. And
you're right, Darcy. It's the scoreboard pressure. Lee Matthews speaks about it a lot. And you know, if this game went into the 3rd quarter and there's a goal or 2 in it, I mean, Essendon are in the game, aren't they? Doesn't that create all sorts of unhappy mental pictures for the Pies to be in that situation? Cloak again is looking quite brilliant here at the moment.
He's just monstering him now.
He's got a one-on-one in Goldsack. Here comes Goldsack. Gee, that was tremendous play by Hibberd to get back. Smothered by Thomas. Fasolo went over the top. He saw Thomas there. Thomas went backwards the other way and found Swan. Very unselfish play.
Yeah, great option.
Thomas offered another lead in the pocket there. And
he can go the journey here, BT. You're the goal-kicking expert.
Just tough angle, but got to get the right bend on the ball here. He's looking for a little bit of right to left, and it was always going to go left to right, so a miss there. Didn't kick it confidently, did he? 7:17 and a half remaining, and we've got a 5-point ball game.
I think Essendon have got to start with one thing, and that's get someone on Dane Swan. He's absolutely dominating. 19 touches already, having shots at goal. He's too good a player to leave alone.
Hurley Watson and now Zaharakis. Cloak puts the body in line, and off the ball was Maxwell, but a free kick was given to Cloak for too high. So the fluoro boots of Trav Cloak working wonders at the moment. Payne's got to beat 3. Hardingham, the birthday boy, over the top.
It's up to 9 marks now, Travis Cloak. And we've still got 7 minutes to go before half-time. This is a great result for Collingwood.
Outstanding effort from an individual perspective, but from a team perspective, not so great at the moment. Watson to Dempsey, one of the best half-back runners in the game. Pears peels a handball out, had to go down and get it, Hardingham, and that allowed Shaw that half second to close in on him. Don't reckon he had prior opportunity, and the umpire calls it right.
Joe Watson's work there through the contest as he picked it up Hardingham and was tackled straight away. I reckon some of those were paid at the start of the year. I prefer to see them paid the way they were just then.
Yep, good call there by umpire Michael Jennings. The least experience of the trio here tonight. Out of the pack, the ball by Merritt, the first gamer. Another one out of the Geelong Falcons footy factory with Mickey Turner down there. Side bottom. Tuvey trying to thread the handball. O'Brien can run onto it. Johnson demanded the ball. A little bullet found for Solo. They mount for Solo's kick really wide. Jolly gets a look at it. He takes the mark.
You can see David Hill's just running through the middle of the ground here. He was 100 metres away from Darren Jolly then.
Jolly, the moment he marked it, turned his back. Don't really like that, but he was certain he'd get the distance. But I just reckon you've got to keep an eye on things. He has a quick glance then and then says, no, that's it, I'm shutting up shop. Checking now where the mark is with the umpire, which is always a sensible thing to do, to know exactly what you've got in the run-up. So Jolly, from exactly 50 metres out, just a little to the right. Hibberd with the kick-in duties. I think a crowd approaching 70,000 here tonight, which is fantastic. Well, these two heavily supported clubs. Regardless of where they are on the ladder, always a major attraction. Here's Hill.
This is something Nathan Buckley wouldn't like. The ease in which Essendon have been able to bring the ball back into the corridor like that.
Imagine what Hawthorn will do with their kicking skills.
That's a concern. They need to tighten that up. If they are to win this game, that'll be something they'll have to look at during the week.
Good look at what the Bombers are facing here, trying to just piece their way through the zone of the Magpies. They've done it pretty well.
They have Howard out wide. It really well worked out by the Bombers as they tried to thread their way through, and Monfrey's just a little nudge to action, said the umpire.
It's been heavily policed tonight, that one, Richo.
They don't allow any leeway at all now in those marking contests.
Gone are the days when you can just have good quality use of the body.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Lingy? I like seeing two guys sort of in a bit of a wrestle trying to mark the ball.
Absolutely, Richo. I'm all for the hands in the back rule, no worries at all. But when it's good quality use of the body like that, using your shoulder, just play on. Let him take the mark if he's good enough.
Thomas told to play on, not the journey. Kicks it back to penalty, which was the same distance, and he's awarded the mark. Rather strange. Here's Swan now.
They are dominating all the numbers, the Magpies, but it's been stagnant at times for them. And credit to Essendon in the final game of the year. They've been able to get across and defend, but they just haven't got great form as a side. They haven't got the fluency and the understanding that we've seen so much in the last couple of years.
That's the way for Solo. Thump that.
I think Hurley might have gone on to Travis Cloak now, boys.
Here's O'Brien, tries to go over the top of all of the players. Up they fly. Off hands. Hill did really well to force the ball out of defence. Now Zaharakis needs to be tidy. He is. Dempsey. Brown involved. I think it might have been. No, Hibbert it was. Goldsack and Shaw, and quickly on to Wellingham. Wellingham to the one-on-one, goes long and deep, looking for an opportunity there with Payne. Off hands, hook up. Bagley, tackled by Swan, hasn't disposed of it. Ball pinned in the tackle. Umpire will toss it up, so just under 3 minutes remaining. Collingwood by a goal.
Thank you.
It's a little clumsy again, Cale Hooker, that handball. He put it into a dangerous situation. He's had his hands full with Travis Cloke being moved off. As Richo pointed out, there's Michael Hurley. I reckon that's the right move because Cloke on track to just take this one apart tonight.
Heppel couldn't quite make it, so he elected to try and make contact with the boot. Zaharakis in front of Watson, tried to work the angle, Tuvey, and he did it really well. He cut off Watson, but under pressure, that kick.
Fantastic second effort again from Watson. Didn't quite get the first possession.
Stanton to Watson.
He's having a big night too, Joe. It's his 16th touch.
Another outstanding night for him, Mr. Consistency of the AFL, isn't he? And he's going to feature that Monday night in the last week of the year pretty heavily, you would have thought.
Yeah. Here they come again through the middle. Risky, but it's going to come off, I think.
Some numbers around that. Hibberd just tried with the one claw to pick it up, and for Solo around the corner to Cloke, who meets it in the middle. Now he'll look to get some purchase on this. He wanted to go long, but he pulled it wide to Swan. Hurley's got to get there, and he does. Umpire said he infringed upon the marking attempt.
Me, mate.
Swan short, not 15, said the umpire. Tough one, wasn't it, Beams?
Yeah.
Thomas went with the one hand as well. So a bit of Hollywood from both sides out there at the moment. Goldsack head over the ball. Zaharakis there as well. It'll be wrapped up. We'll have a ball up.
Not 15. Jeez, I've seen
Not 15, mate.
kicks a lot shorter than that paid in the past.
How do they judge? How do they practice it, BT? You've been down there speaking to them?
With judgment.
Yeah.
Richo is how they do it.
Yeah, well, that's how you normally
The
do it.
approximation, hands off hand, Swan around the corner, belts it to the right hand
So
side.
they practice it at training, though.
I would have thought they would practice it and look at each other. And
How do you practice 15 metres, though?
well, you say to each other, how far here to that paper wrapper there?
And then guess it and measure it at training and see if you got it
They
right.
might want to go back to training on the back of that last one.
So you've never been a tradesman, Richo. Tradesmen know exactly the meterage and
Right.
can guess within a metre or two, and so can umpires. Canterbury, they can. That's why they're umpires. D'Olio, Dempsey took him on, dispossessing tackle. Pendlebury to make it hurt. Hurley did well.
Well, that was some of the real good forward pressure that was Collingwood's trademark in 2010 when they won the grand final, but their uncharacteristic mistakes. Pendlebury, you very rarely see him turn the footy over by foot at any stage. He's had a couple tonight that haven't been his best.
O'Brien around the corner, so the Pies still just that 7 points in front. We're nearing the half-time break. Kick into their forward 50 again. Off hands, Payne quickly around the bodies. He bent it too much, he has.
He's looked okay.
He has looked all right, hasn't
Yeah.
he? Couple of opportunities. Half a minute. Bombers have been pretty good. Pies have been okay.
Yeah, they've really tried to force this corridor play. Essendon trying to get through the forward press of the Magpies. And when they have, they've actually looked dangerous. Look like they're going to score.
That's been the biggest thing for me in the first half. This coming through the corridor, and we know how good Hawthorn are with their feet. It's something they're going to have to tighten up on.
Here's Cracker. Look at the pick-up from 55 metres out. Siren sounds. No score. Umpire says there'll be no free kick. Cloke disappointed. But a tight game here at the MCG. A top four spot on offer for the Pies. And I tell you what, right at the moment, anyone's ball game. And of course, the Pies lead at 7-11-53 to Essendon 7-3-45.
They need him next week.
Start of the second half, Collingwood by 8 points. Maxwell in trouble on the bench. Get down to Doc when we get an opportunity. Watching with the first clearance of the second half. He by no means has let the Bombers down here today. Around the body, gained some momentum. Took a nice break as well from Myers. And goal umpire Chelsea Roffey says just the behind.
Yeah, Jedders, that was a little throw. I'm not sure why that wasn't paid. You're allowed to just let the ball go now in those tackles. That used to be holding the ball.
Doc, what do you think on Nick Maxwell?
Well, Brian, I was just saying before, I thought in the warm-up he just favoured it again when he came back out. So if he was right, he'd be out there, Brian. The right hip flexor, it looks like.
Yeah, he would indeed. I agree with you, Doc. Swan just got rid of it in the nick of time. O'Brien to Brown, and now a long driving ball. Here comes Cloak. Wellingham as well. In the end, they left it for each other. Intelligent knock by Wellingham. Needs to be clean, Cloak. He is. He was just hurried slightly in the kick by Hardingham.
He used his body well on Michael Hurley in that contest. Good second effort. They've set up the forward line. I looked at that first centre bounce, and the forward line was structured totally around Travis Cloak, standing 25 metres out with only one other person inside 50. So they're really trying to tunnel everything through him at the moment.
Reid, well, Cracker lurking. Howlett. Reid desperate at ground level. Bombers do well. Pears tries to whip it out. Howlett eventually does, and pretty tough in and under is Howlett.
Actually went man-on-man on that last kick-out, Collingwood, which is something you don't see too often. Occasionally their side will throw one in just as a surprise and then go back to the zone.
They might do the old huddle, Essendon, if they go man-on-man. Easy to get someone out when you're man-on-man.
First introduced the huddle by Robert Walls, I reckon, back in about 1985, 84.
Yeah. And then who introduced the zone to counteract
Lee
it?
Matthews.
Lee Matthews
I was
did.
there the night that he designed it and trialled it for the first time at training. And they were real tactics, Richo, back then.
Yeah.
Now they pale into insignificance to what...
Well, they were some of the first sort of tactics to come into the game. Instead of just being a man-on-man football.
Absolutely they were. That was the first signs of it not being a man-on-man game.
Lee, he's basically invented the game, Lee.
Well, Robert Walls was the inventor of the huddle first up, so he did well in taking the risk to do that. And that was then done by all clubs, really, and they had to find a problem to solve it, a way of solving it. Pendlebury, little kick out of the pack to Swan, who tried to gather and then socketed it out of bounds. But I think it was already out, said the boundary umpire.
Swanee's going to have another 40 tonight easily. He's up to 25.
Richo, can he win another Brownlow? He's had a pretty good year. Big numbers again.
I think he's averaged 36 disposals, is it, per game? He's only missed the 2 games.
Should he win another Brownlow, Lingy, is the question I put to you.
Well, it's going to be a close one, we know, but he's had an unbelievable season.
Is Beams going to steal a few more off him this year, Lingy?
Oh, you'd imagine he would. Beams has been terrific again. So many quality players in that Collingwood team, but winning teams tend to get most of the votes.
Here go the Bombers. Heppel. Pears has got to come from behind. He does. Knock down in front. Myers, left footer. They went the wrong way. Myers let it rip from a long way out. He got one step in the first half. Let's go back down to Doc Larkins.
Nick Maxwell's in the interchange area, Brian. Just see him there. They're trying to get Chris Tarrant off, and Nick Maxwell's certainly going to go back out with that sore right hip.
That's good news, Doc, that he's feeling okay. I reckon Lingy finds it hard to mention Dane Swan as a Brownlow medalist because he always tells us that he just was pretty much his whipping boy, Dane Swan.
What about
Luke? None of that nonsense, thank you.
He's missed 4 games, actually, Swanee, but stats man Dan has just informed me last week was Swanee's season low of 27. That's his worst performance this year.
Fasolo on the lead. He marks within Fasolo range. This is the Faz from beyond 50.
And he will have a shot. Don't worry about even looking inboard.
He'll like this.
That's the old-fashioned, I'm really keen to pass this off. And he surprised us.
He surprised us to Beams, who demanded the ball. And it would have been a brave Fasolo to do any otherwise. And now Jolly on the lead. Great patience shown by the Pies.
Gee, I love a ruckman who pushes forward like that and makes an opposition ruckman defend, because they don't like doing that, do they, Dust?
Not at all. David Hill wouldn't have been comfortable running around as a centre-half back. And Darren Jolly has got this in his game and has had it for a long period of time. He'll always go forward, and he's generally a pretty good kick.
Pies not great tonight from the set shot. 5'8". Jolly. No angle to speak of, but will have to kick at 50, and that's just beyond him. Once again, falls 5 or 6 metres short. He didn't nail it off the boot. Now we'll see who takes this ruck knockout. Jolly coming over like he will. Maxwell did it in the first half, but you would have thought with his injury that would be doubtful. Now Jolly's doing it everywhere. Heppel through traffic did well. Hibbard trying to keep his feet off ground. Cloak went for the soccer and just withdrew the boot ever so slightly. Stanton doing the old fake on Daisy Thomas there, as if the ball was coming a little quicker than it arrived. Into Myers.
Heard James Hird talk about this with Lingy just the start of the third quarter. They want to come more through the corridor. It's been a real focus.
Maxwell, Brown.
That kick there, though, that's the worst kick in football when you go 55 metres long to your 50-metre line. It's just a real turnover zone.
Cracker then. You could just see when he went to turn almost that he didn't really want to do the normal specialist Andrew Cracker MCG turn. He just went a little easier, I reckon, than normal.
Just takes time, doesn't it, for a reconstruction to really feel.
It takes a really sharp turn to realise it's okay.
You always get a couple of moments where you go, OK, I know it's right. I know I'm going to be OK.
Olio, an opportunity. Once again, pairs with a little right foot banana. And made a mess of that.
I'm not sure that's the right option there, right foot banana, when he had Nick O'Brien heading straight in towards goal. All they had to do was give the handball over the top. They've got to do the basic things well if they're going to win this one tonight.
There's Crack. Andrew Cracker, former Tiger, of course, and he was good at this ground. Watson from the stoppage did well, got it back into Crameri, didn't get a big chunk of it in the end, and Tarrant was able to concede the behind.
MCG specialist, Andy Cracker.
Oh, yes.
Loves it here.
Yeah, I've mentioned that a couple of times, Richo, but...
Yeah, well, I just wanted to make my point known as well.
Yes, OK, he is a specialist, you're right. Just needing to wind it up a quick or two. Is to Olio, deep into the pocket, and he finds Watson.
He's played head-to-head on Pendlebury a fair bit tonight, which has been enjoyable to watch. Joe Watson, it's a bit disposal number 20. Pendlebury's had 17.
Captain on captain here. As he tucks the mouth guard into the sock. Maxwell watching on the side. Protected zone.
Plays well when he goes forward, Joe.
Really difficult angle this, but it is kickable, and I reckon he's done it. He has.
Jeez.
That'll bring the Bomber fans alive at the G.
He's good players, and he's better than good player. He's a sensational player, Joe Watson. They just find a way to do good things, don't they? And everyone else has struggled with their goal kicking. Supposedly not a strength of his, and he just, at the right time, kicked it through.
He doesn't look like missing set shots now, and you can tell when he comes in, he's confident in his ability to put it through, and it's just improved every year he's played, Joe.
Joe Watson gets the first of the second half for the Bombers, and they now trail by just 2 points.
And again, we remind you, the AFL CEO, Andrew Demetrio, to join us straight after the game and tell us exactly what's happening the first week of the finals. And at the moment, Collingwood have got a game on their hands.
They have. They're not guaranteed a top 4 finish by any means, so they can make it happen or they can lose the opportunity. It's completely in their hands, no one else. Hill into the side tonight. Of course, Bell Chambers was a late withdrawal for those that have just joined us. And it meant that Merritt, who's the first gamer, went from being a sub to playing, and Alex Brown come back in as a sub who was initially omitted. Swan out the back. Little handball to Harry O'Brien, who slices through traffic, goes with a long ball. Cloak in the one out again. Had a bit of the Guernsey of Hurley. Bagley and now Hardingham.
Hurley's held up well in the one-on-one so far that he's had with Travis Cloak. We heard Jimmy Hurd say just at half-time that he was happy with the 2 contests that he was in before the break, and he's held up on that occasion.
Oh, he did really well there, Maxwell. O'Brien got it to side bottom. He kicks inside. Cracker in the pocket, couldn't hold the mark off hands. Hooker arrives, got the handball to Bagley, who was out of bounds.
Here's Joe Watson, who's right down at full forward at the moment. Chris Tarrant is the match-up, and I like the idea of keeping him out on the ground and keeping him inside forward 50 when he rests.
Collingwood's numbers out the back, gives Beams a bit of a look, and he's pulled it to the left. Didn't have big numbers at the back of that stoppage then. And offline. Now goal cams, which are going to be in action during the finals here at the G. Hill gave it to a man that was always under the pump in the first gamer in Jackson Merritt. Thomas could have gone for home. Is that 15? The umpire said no. Comes to Elliott. Elliott from 30 out. They've messed it up.
See, that looked to be close to 15. And we had a tweet come through. You can see where the grass is cut, the different shades. That's meant to be 10 metres.
Oh, I reckon that's 5.
It's not 10 metres.
No, I reckon that's 5 metres.
If that's 10 metres, that's an 80-metre line.
That's right, Richo. Just add them up. 5, 10, 15,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 80-metre line.
Boys, I'll get out there at three-quarter time with a tape measure and let you know that one.
OK, look, we want you to step it out, Lingy, honestly, because...
Nice to see Richo self-correct himself mid-sentence there. He was going with the
as I read that tweet, I thought, there's no way known that's 10 metres.
Richo,
you were all excited there for a moment.
I thought I had the solution.
He found something.
living his life by Twitter these days. Richo, here's Stanton. Now, the Bombers are within 4. Pies are getting into the danger zone part of the game where the scoreboard really can start to play tricks on your mind. Cracker, side bottom, did well to pick up a difficult ball, gave it to Johnson. Johnson on the left, Hurley with the wrist that's going to require reconstructive surgery by Dr. Greg Hoy, as Doc Larkins mentioned. Pendlebury hustled over the line by the first gamer in merit out of the Geelong Falcons.
It's a great sign. Kyle Hardingham, just full-bodied attack on Nick Maxwell there. Made sure that he didn't get free. And they're the little things in your last game of the year that just give you a bit of confidence that perhaps you can pull off an upset here tonight.
Gave Maxie a little whack in the head too, I think, just at the end of that tackle, which he didn't appreciate. Watson to Monfries, Dempsey, penetrating runner. Zaharakis demanded it. I don't reckon he was going to give it initially. Zaharakis goes long and deep to Olio at the back. O'Brien in front.
That's the real concern tonight, just with the ease that's been opened up through the middle.
Another concern for me is Nick Maxwell playing as a ruckman who's had to sprint all the way down. And it's a shame that they haven't got Hill out there to really expose him this part of the ground.
Swan thinking his way through some traffic. For Solo, nifty little kick around the corner to Payne. So at stages they look in control, and then all of a sudden the Bombers get a bit of ball. Now they find some space through the middle, but they go wide again. Elliott, chance to send the ball in the jolly direction. He was mad that it didn't go long. Hurley gobbled it up.
Hurley's been fantastic. Oh, what a clanger that was there from Bagley, able to go back and get it. But Michael Hurley's just steadied the ship back there. Played all his junior footy as a full-back.
Did he?
Yeah, All-Australian on multiple occasions in the under-18s in that role, and he's pretty comfortable back there.
Here's Jetta, and a quietish night. Wheels around on the right boot, finds Stanton. Stanton can stick it in front of Watson, who's running really hard, but Jetta overlaps. Handball back to Stanton. Now Stanton goes long and deep. Crammery and O'Brien go at it. The knockdown ball picked up by Fasolo. Great turning ability by Fasolo there. Swan did extremely well to Brown. Cracker. Payne got the running Wellingham forward of the ball. Has it got enough lift? Wellingham tried to mark over the top and couldn't get it done. Let's go down to Doc Larkins. Doc Larkins.
Collingwood are activating their sub, Brian. You can see the green vest is off, Alan Didak, and they're just waiting for their interchange player. They're going to put the red vest on. He hasn't come off yet, but Didak will come in now.
Okay, so Didak to be sent out there. Hooker takes the mark.
Plan!
Risky kick, but as Rizzo said numerous times tonight, they've wanted to go in that direction. Zaharakis almost run down by Shaw, got the ball really wide to Jetta.
This used to be Collingwood's greatest strength, their ability to lock it in to their forward line, but the way Essendon have been able to come through the middle was a concern.
Jetta, without a lot of thought, stuck it down the throat of Tarrant. The red vest still in the hands of Billy Carp, the interchange steward for Collingwood. Has not been dished out yet as Wellingham comes to the bench. Kick goes towards Cloak, he takes the mark.
Did pretty well, Melksham, not to give away 50 and hold Cloak up at the same time.
Fasolo's at the back here, and he does well just to inch his man under the ball. And Fasolo from 15 metres out.
Well, I'm happy with that one being adjudicated that way, Richo, but it's
That's
not
what
in keeping.
Lingy wanted.
But it's not in keeping with the other 15s that have been paid so far.
There's the exchange of the vest. You can see it's been handed to Tyson Goldsack. And what a reward for running off the ground. How down are you? Look at him.
He's flat.
Oh, boy. In the meantime, Fasolo to kick a real important game. He drills it. Collingwood by 10 points.
There's Goldsack disappearing straight up the race. And maybe there was something more than just a direct substitution there. Let's hope nothing serious for Tyson Goldsack, who's had a
Well, it is early in the quarter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there's the mark, Alex Fasolo. I'm happy with it to be paid. What did you think from ground level, Lingy?
Sorry, Richo, I missed that one, mate.
Just
Go
the
again,
marking
please.
contest there with Fasolo. They paid that one, but we've seen them go the other way numerous times.
Yeah, I don't mind paying those ones, Richo. That's the one I was talking about earlier. But if you talk about consistency from the umpiring, it probably wasn't the case. But if you use your body well, you don't use your hands in the back, I reckon play on and pay the mark.
Straight up the race and in the rooms went Goldsack. Doc, what do you think?
I think it's ankle problems, Brian. He had a significant ankle injury against the West Coast last week over at Subi. He brought it in tonight. I think he's a bit sore. They're just going to get his rehab started.
Stoppage work here. Swan. Trick Melcham into going wide. Long and direct. Cloak's got the body position. It gets over the top. It's a goal. An unbelievable bounce. And Swan's got it.
Michael Hurley can't believe it. He did really well in the contest there on Travis Cloak. And he just on the receiving end of a shocking bounce there. Big one for Dane Swan. His first goal and his 30th possession. It's been sensational.
Yeah, he has. I thought Hurley had done a terrific job. I thought Cloak was going to mark that. He had the right positioning on Hurley, but he forced the contest, but Swans goes through for a goal.
See the bounce that this ball got. It was heading for the behinds, and then all of a sudden
It's a wrong one.
it was a wrong and Richo, and the biggest lead of the game. Collingwood by 16 points. Standing in the middle. The Bombers have replied all night to these little mini surges and been able to respond in a positive sense. Thomas had to be clean there. It just beat him on the bounce, and now Stanton to tidy it up just took off. It took on a little bit more than he could handle. 2 on about 4 there. The Bombers win out. Heppel goes long and deep. They fly. No wind there. Now Didak, the sub, who's been activated. Hibbard. A little fumble. Pursuing his Didak. Well done, Hibbard. Turned onto his left. Found himself some space in the time, and that's a good ball. Gee, Cranmery did well to block the run for Myers there.
Well, he thinks he can cover the journey, Myers. He's gone back with a lot of confidence. This is the time to respond for Essendon. I feel like they need to kick the next goal if they are to keep this challenge going. The Magpies have got a nice little run on at the moment, BT.
They have indeed, as Myers lines up here from 50 metres out. Punt road end. He's got a strong leg. Good looking kick. Timber.
He's got a great kick, that big goal earlier in the game. Covers the journey easily from outside 50. It's the goal line camera. Going to use those in the finals, Bristle.
Here at the MCG, I believe, Richo, yes. So that'll be good.
Just crossing back to Daisy there. Gives you a great view.
Chelsea, have a look at the stance on Chelsea. Just really solid.
Well, it might have been your talk before the game that you gave down there. You inspired them.
She vacated the room when I came down. She didn't want to
be around you, Brian. Not the first person that's had a similar feeling.
You can clear a room, Peter.
Didak. Fasolo's got a bit of space here. He can come over the top of Dempsey. And in the end, did well Bagley to intercept.
5:51 remaining in the third term. 15-point margin. It's we'll go one way or the other here. Collingwood will go and blow this one right out. Or if Essendon are serious, they need to get one back and steady the ship here.
It's just, I reckon it'll just be a weight of numbers. They have dominated most areas, and it just gradually is going to take its toll on the Bombers.
Johnson on his left, wobbly old kick, did well on the goal line there. Hibbert just cutting it off. So threatening to cut loose. Have a look at this for a contest.
Thank you.
Both sliding into the ball, Das.
Yeah, they did it pretty well because they went side on head first. It wasn't that dangerous one where the feet go in and there are legs flying around.
O'Brien works it to the boundary. So with just 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter, it is the biggest margin of the game at 16 points. And the coaches would both... James Hird looks rather relaxed because he knows his season is completed, but Nathan Buckley would be just a little tense, you would think. Pendlebury, they showed you... I'll come back to that in a moment. Here's Wellingham. Penetrating border for Solo, who marks in the pocket.
Geez, a good mark for his size for Solo.
Lays on and finds Cracker, and Cracker will get an easy look. Have they shown enough to think that there's some sort of chance in the finals, the Pies, tonight?
Yeah, they need to really get rolling and get a little bit more fluid ball movement and some more shape and balance in their forward line. Travis Cloke is exciting, and I just want to comment again on this story of Andy Cracker. It's a sensational one. 6 months with a knee reconstruction. Let's hope he gets a goal.
Unbelievable. This will be his first goal of the year in his first game of the year. Watch them get to Andrew Cracker. Unbelievable comeback.
Well, that shows you what Andy Cracker means to his teammates. They know what a great effort this is to get back in 6 months from a reconstruction. That's incredible, really. He must have put in a lot of hard work, Crack. That's great to see. He could provide a spark in the finals. He doesn't need a lot of possession to do something and turn the tide in the table. Muck that up.
Just have a look at this as Andrew Cracker kicks the goal. Look at the reaction. Oh, yes, I'm the specialist and I'm back. Doc Larkins, has anyone come back quicker? 6 months.
Well, Tony Liberatore in the old days, Brian, came back the quickest of all, but 6 months is right up there in modern times for sure.
Well done. Great achievement for him. Didak. Zale Marcus was able to bowl him over. He does add that X factor to the Pies lineup, Andrew Cracker, doesn't he?
Yeah, so dangerous and exciting, and look at him chasing hard now. He actually looks really confident in his whole knee and body, which is great.
Dempsey through the middle, penetrating ball. Olio!
Paid hands in the back there, boys.
Oh, he has too.
Not even Harry knew. Well spotted, Lingy.
Well, it actually should have been 50 because Dolio put the ball on the ground, and I reckon the umpire showed a bit of mercy there. He's taken off probably the best mark Dolio's ever taken in his AFL career off him. He thought, I won't rub salt into the wounds with a 50, but feels a little inconsistent.
Well, the Pies in the back half here now. Just 3.5 minutes remaining. They wouldn't want to concede here. Got a good lead of 22 points. O'Brien just gets rid of it, but that's been pinned to Tuvey. And the Bombers have been very competitive.
Let's take a look at Dolio, who, fair enough. That's a push out. Yeah, well done.
That is the difference there, isn't it? The hand was in the back rather than the arm or the shoulder and the use of the body. You've got to pay those.
Beautiful palm down by Hill to Howlett. Howlett didn't get enough of it on the boot, but Crameri, little left foot kick around the corner. Has made it work, has he? No, just the behind, got a bit of the post.
He was having a great year up until when he got injured, Stuart Crameri. He was #1 in the competition for scoreboard impact at one stage. I think it was about 2 months into the year.
Possession number 31 coming up for Dane Swan.
What a strong man.
He's a powerful, powerful man, Darren Jolly. It goes without saying, but right up there with the strongest ruckman that have played the game in recent times.
Boy, when he's playing in this side, they're different. When he's not playing, they're vastly different, aren't they?
In terms of their structure, and this man included, Darren Jolly is just about their most important player.
Cloak high. Hibbert flew with the fist. Stanton knocks his opponent out the way. Thomas couldn't quite keep it alive, and he threatened to throw the ball at Bagley and has a bit of a giggle. Always expect the unexpected with Dale Thomas. Watson into a dangerous position. Yorkshire's able to turn it around the corner, but Maxwell uses his body to great benefit. Offhand side bottoms handball was smothered by Crammery. Now he goes back. Surely that was a high tackle initially. Myers needs to let it go. He does now. Zaharakis through the middle. Somehow got boot to ball. Magnificently done. De Olio and Harry O'Brien. Harry O'Brien and De Olio did well. Harry O. Tuvey Reid and now side bottom. Looking for Elliott. Couldn't get it. Dempsey keeps his feet. Zaharakis and 50.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary, said the umpire. And that is a real silly 50 with a minute 30 remaining with a 21-point lead.
Bucks' face just tells the whole story in one. He's just saying, why? Why would you think about that at this stage? It's not a heap in it, but
He hadn't even landed.
It's okay. But yeah, you can run
Players
up
are coming in at pace, and sometimes you can't just stop.
Zaharakis comes in and kicks a real big goal in this game.
it's the second one on replay that I feel is pretty harsh. It's, as you said, Richo, there's not a lot you can do when your momentum is in the air and you decided to jump. Unnecessary is umpire's call. I'm not sure
what else he...
Absolutely.
He has to make some attempt. I reckon he thought he could spoil the football.
Wasn't a lot of force there for
Talking about split seconds.
So Ben Johnson gives away that 50. Collingwood now by 15. Zaharakis gets his second.
Gee, it's such a big penalty, isn't it, for a very, very minor indiscretion.
Swan, who's having a clinker game, 31 touches to three-quarter time. Howlett spun out of the pack, and now Tarrant's got to go. Hill there as well. Shaw waited. Hill went and got it. Gives it back to Myers. On to Zaharakis. Not beyond them to get another here. Still a minute and a quarter remaining. Hill, little kick sideways. Montfrey's got space. Couldn't trap it. Got it where they needed the Bombers with a minute left in the quarter.
Real opportunity here to score. Is there a better side when Zaharakis is in it?
Watson smother. Reid with a tackle. Somehow brute strength still gets rid of the ball. Pendlebury, Didak, fast hands Johnson. Brilliant release. Didak on the right boot. On his non-preferred. Found the option. Gave it off to Thomas. Now back to Didak. Didak pulls the kick, knowing that no one was deep. Cloak had to go back and get it, and somehow they've got out of trouble here. Didak, short ball, and I think Thomas will get on the end of this, so they will get a set shot. The runner is immediately out. Makes him aware of the clock.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed with that. The Bombers had a stoppage inside their forward 50, and they just couldn't get a set up behind the football to lock it in, and Collingwood brought it through centre-half back far too easily.
So this will be kicked after the siren here. Interesting to see whether the umpire stops him and comes in and, like they did last night, and they don't do it this time. Looked to Buddy last night at this point in the game.
It's a strange thing to do, wasn't it?
Really strange decision last night. Stopped his flow and run at the goal. Thomas to get it back to 21 points. He's a right to left hooker of the ball, and that's a good-looking kick for him. Just offline. Minor score. 16-point three-quarter time advantage. James Hurd's out there. Got a bit of a spring in his step. Reckons he can get it done here. And the Pies have got a big task ahead. Remember, a double chance on offer. Collingwood 10-17-77. Lead the Bombers 9-7-61.
At three-quarter times. Alex Brown, the late arrival to come in tonight, is in the game now.
All of the tradies going off on Twitter at Richo, not knowing they're being able to judge distances. Richo, they think you are fairly unusual in not being able to do that. Here's for Solo. So the Pies, a double chance is on offer here. Can they pull away from the Bombers? Good kick. Shaw marks.
That's an interesting move, isn't it?
Yeah.
For Heath Shaw coming out of the goal square, and Michael Hurley as his matchup, and I like it if they can afford to do that and release him from half back. And you know what? I think they're going to have to manufacture some different things in September, Richo, given the Dawes and Cloak options change.
Yeah, good to see Bucks throwing it around, but like for Solo's game tonight, he's been good. A couple of goals, 18 touches, and set up a few. Just clean hands.
Heath Shaw would really fancy himself from here, and that was straight at it. Faded in its last few metres of flight. Wellingham almost got hold of it.
Sliding every time that down that end, isn't it?
Richo, where does it sit with you? Collingwood still to make sure they win the game here by 17 points at the moment. We'll come back to it in a minute.
Swan around the corner, trying to make it work for Wellingham. Beams, well, had a good start, didn't he, Beams? And a little quietish in that third quarter. Stanton got one high, should have got a free. It was a very, very high tackle, not rewarded in the end. Heppel out the back door to Melksham. Go ahead, Das.
Just want to ask Richo, Jackson Payne's come in to the side tonight, had 8 disposals. Do you bring Chris Dawes back first week of the finals?
Well, he hasn't played a game of football because the Collingwood Twos don't have a game this weekend, so he's basically gone without a game. I'm not sure how his form can improve.
If you've got one back in form now, Cloker, you're more likely to take a risk with the second one.
And is he a better option than that man, Jackson Payne, who's only played 6 AFL games?
It's a tough one. I would stick with the winning team from tonight.
Would you?
Yeah.
Well, Dawsey's flattened off a bit at home.
Really tough call,
You put me on the spot there, but I think Payne's
you're a commentator.
been adequate. I think the forward lane's operated better tonight. I know the pressure hasn't been
Only thing
great.
for me would be if Dawes has been carrying a little niggle, and look, his form's not great, but maybe the week off freshens him up.
Just saw a stat on the screen. Scores from stoppages, 6-9 to Collingwood, and basically nothing for Essendon. That's the strength of having Jolly back, because last week that's where they got smashed by the Eagles from scoring from stoppages.
So the Pies, that's a shocker. Out of bounds on the full by Daisy.
And to back that up, Richo, 15 shots of goal from stoppages is a huge number. That's when Collingwood's at their absolute best. And you're right, having Darren Jolly in there gives them first use, first opportunity. They were dominated last week by Nat Nui and Cox. He'll be so important in the finals.
So Dempsey down the line. Off hands, Thomas. Hill on the ground, lying on the back almost. Heppel rips it away. Left foot kick will go wide. Zaharakis needs a trapper here. Couldn't do it. So at the moment, make no mistake, with just 3 minutes expired here in the last quarter, this game is very much in dispute. Dustin Fletcher, the veteran for the Bombers, will be back again next year.
And absolutely deserves to be. Had some great form right up until he was injured.
Funny little handball from Didak. Side bottom tried to bore a hole through with his handball there. Trying to strip it out the back was Didak. Somehow he got it out. It was like a rugby ball, wasn't it? Eventually it came out. Stanton moves it inside 50. Crameri was there. Tuvey, Reed let go. Zaharakis 20 out directly in front. Oh, stumps the bottom of the post. Big opportunity there by Zaharakis.
They got a bit of overlap. He couldn't play on then, Daisy. Held him up well.
34 for Swan. Thomas has to move it on. He obliges and finds Cloak, who's found it more difficult against Hurley, but is certainly back in form. Make no mistake, Pies fans would be rapt. Shaw, good handball. Here he is. Swan gathers, needs to be tidy. Has a ping at him, missed it to the right.
Puts his hand up. Dane Swan. One thing, take a look at Zaharakis, who thought it was home, tried to will it through for a goal. We've spoken a lot about Collingwood being the #1 boundary side for the last 2 or 3 years. They are again this year, Richo. You told us earlier tonight, but I think it's underestimated about them as a good side. They move the ball really quickly along the boundary line. I think tonight they've been held up more than I've seen them in recent time. They've got to get back to playing on a bit quicker next week in a big final.
Stanton goes really wide, looking for pairs. Didn't take possession cleverly. He knew Cloak was going to wear him. Hurley aggressively comes in. Can go either way, Hurley. Harry O'Brien in the one-on-one again with Monfries. Off hands, here comes Melksham. Little clever tap. Found Zaharakis, turns around, tried to thread the needle, and side bottom intercepts. Pies loose out here at the moment. Thomas tempts the defenders to come at him so he can try and spread the field. Payne on the present-up lead. Goes long and deep. Jolly the target. Kyle Hardingham, the boy from Cogent up in Western Australia. Back inside, Zaharakis getting plenty of the ball here tonight. Now the big fella Hill will send it really deep. Monfrey's got the box seat here. Maxwell was hanging on a little. Ball knocked to ground. Melksham, soccer off the ground. Just misses.
See that quick transition through the middle again. It's obviously something Essendon have done all year. It's what they try and do, but they've done it better tonight than they have done in the last month or so.
Now, Cracker's free in the middle if Reid wants to use him. He does. Gee, that's a good kick. Should have hung on to that Cracker and retreats a little negatively. Drawing handball now to Cracker. Clever tap on. It was really well done to Tuvey. O'Brien works the ball wide. Beams now gets a really good look. Goes long and deep. Cloak on the lead. Hurley a bit of a hold. Cloak does really well.
Great kick by Beams. But there's the advantage again of coming through the middle of the ground. Crack knew if he took possession he'd be tackled. Got it over to Tuvey, and that was great transition through the middle.
Played his way into a final, Andrew Cracker, no matter what happens, hasn't he?
He's been lively enough.
Travis Cloak is going to play his way into finals in some sort of form, because this may well be his 4th goal. Cloak comes in. It's a straightening ball. It's a very good kick. Collingwood by 21.
He's happy, that chap, Richo. Interesting face. There's Mark McVeigh. Of course, he's retired this year. Oh, have a look at that.
He's had too much camera time, that guy. He's starting to do party tricks now.
I don't need to see the false teeth, mate.
Should probably put a warning up next time we show him, I think.
Just... Cloak says, thank goodness, 4 goals, teams in front, couldn't be any better.
And 14 marks.
Gee.
Essendon have conceded over 20 marks again inside 50. If there was a defence that you would want to play to get back into form at the moment, it is Essendon. They've been leaking marks down there in recent times.
The relief on Cloak's face then was just amazing. He would be thinking, thank goodness. Here's Watson.
He's going to... More than likely, he's going to have Josh Gibson climbing all over him, 3rd man in next week. That's going to be the most important part of the game, I reckon. Trying to keep Gibson accountable.
Watson goes wide.
This game's not over, don't get me wrong, but...
Not by any means, Richo.
Just looking forward a little bit there.
21 points is nothing at the 8-minute mark of the last quarter, especially when you do things like that.
You, Chris, you.
Hill, D'Olio, Thomas. A very timely fist.
There's a couple of times Scotty Pendlebury has had clanging kicks, and I'm not used to seeing it. He's just so polished and so aware under pressure. So just a touch off his all-time best, Scotty Pendlebury.
Hill, little right foot banana, Ben. Not quite.
Do you reckon he'll go on next year, David Hill?
I think he's definitely got another 12 months in him, and
he does have a contract waiting, boys. If he wants to sign it, it's his decision, the club said, but there is a 1-year contract.
What do you think he should do, Lingy?
I think he's going. I think this Essendon list, even though they haven't finished the year off well, is pretty exciting. The next year or two could be good fun to play at the Bombers.
Do you agree, Das?
Yeah, I think one more year for David Hill, unless he did something out of the ordinary. He probably would be a little disappointed the way this year's turned out, like a few teammates. Paddy Ryder, I still think his best position is to play that #1 ruck role, but a bit of support from Hill for another 12 months.
Over the top, Jolly trying to claim the mark, but Hurley certainly had first hands on it.
Righty.
Nick Maxwell, the skipper, waiting to come back on. They'll be relieved to see that he's not injured in a way that's threatening next week, because it did appear at one stage that he looked like he might be in some doubt. Wellingham to Fasolo, wide to Elliott. Elliott, little kick looking for Shaw, getting back as hooker. It's the man that Lingy didn't know what he actually looked like, but he went down to interview him before the game tonight. Needed a photo just to see what he shaped up like. So here's Brown. This is the son of Murray and Lisa Brown. did really well there. 60 out, long ball. Reid and O'Brien. A little lack of communication there.
Let's get one thing straight, BT. You know, the players look very different off the field than when they're running around on the field with a number on their back. I just wasn't sure which one was Hooker and which one was Pears.
Yeah. Lingy doing a beautiful job in his debut year. Johnson.
He likes to just put people underneath the bus, does Brian at times. And poor old Lingy, that's not on, BT.
Oh, I just see if he can recover. There's Hurley. Got the jukes out, took a nice mark.
I'm just sitting here taking notes. A very, very long memory.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, Lingy. Zaharakis. Good kick, wide. Thomas gets back, though, and fills in the hole in front of Merritt, who, by the way, the first game at Jackson Merritt, I believe, is the grandnephew of Collingwood legend, Farrell Merritt.
So a bit of an interesting link there for young Jackson, who's had a little bit of the footy tonight. Always hard to get the pace in your first game, but enough there to like about young Jackson.
Mickey Turner texted me that from the Geelong Falcons, just to let me know. Another one of his boys playing out there. Maxwell, Monfries, Didak keeps it alive. Bagley's there over his head. Elliott went and got it just with the one hand. Opportunity here for Hibberd. Howlett now. Fast hands, good release. Bombers are away. In the hands of the kicker in Dempsey. Missed his target this time. Melksham wants someone to run in support. Did well, kick won't get the journey, although coming over the top of Tuvey there was an opportunity for Dolio. Crammery in amongst it as well. Tuvey ties him up. And the ball up, attacking 50 for the Bombers.
Good contest from Dolio then. I thought Magpies had the loose man back, but he forced the contest, brought it to ground. Gets a stoppage here for them.
Pendlebury without it. Reid just cleared those two guys waiting to kick behind the play, but Wellingham went back into the traffic instead of running away from it, and now brings them both back into play. Stanton, Melksham over the top, gave it to Bagley. Great tackle by Wellingham. A dispossessing one. Melksham keeps going at it though.
We know tonight Nick Maxwell has been competing the ruck and trying his heart out, but that's going to happen a fair bit. If that's their plan come September, he'll get absolutely hammered at times.
Could they do that next week, Das?
He's going to come up against Hale and Roughhead, assuming they win and finish
Look
fourth.
how they went last night. Hale and Roughhead were fantastic.
Yeah, it's not going to be ideal.
Offhand to Olio. Tuvey in the tackle. Heppel gets a look with the left. Bend around the corner. Got it. Bombers are back.
Well, their hands full here at the moment. Just a 14-point margin. It's been a really impressive performance by Essendon. They are not going away, and there is plenty of time to get this 14-point margin back. 9:14 left. Game right on as Nick Maxwell takes a seat.
Well, clever tap by Hill over the back, and
yeah, that was the result of Maxwell having to go against a man much taller than him again, as Luke just brought up before that goal was kicked.
back within 14 points now, the Bombers. Disappointing 56,000 here tonight, which is well under the average for these two teams, which I believe is about 65,000. Off hands, Elliott. High ball is offline.
Important for Collingwood here to get their zone in place and stop the transition. They need to slow this down and get the next goal.
Heppel, tell you what, the Bombers get the next one here, and it is absolutely on. Didak, who's looked lively since coming on the ground. Swan with possession number 38.
Just a bit stagnant in front of Swan.
For Solo. Draws Cracker to the ball. Now Cracker, he's not a long kick, but I reckon he's got this one covered.
Gee, I've loved for Solo's game. He's taken 10 marks, 20 disposals, but this is what he does so well. He's going at 100% tonight.
What? By
100% disposal efficiency, 20 touches, sets it up for Cracky here.
Andrew Cracker directly in front. Distance will be his only problem. Kick it from about 49. Kick on the way will go right to the line. Has it got enough? No. Fell a metre short. And Hibbert tucks it under the arm and just charges out with it. Maxwell. So the Pies here desperately trying to get a score. Cloak, can he hang on to it? The umpire's paid it, and I think it's probably right.
It's a brilliant pack mark from Clokey, and as Richo pointed out, he has been doing this at will tonight.
Yep.
A bit of luck, but 15 marks and a heap of those inside forward 50. Richo has been a super performance.
Yeah, good mark. Got first hand on it, didn't he?
In amongst 3 or 4 players, that's a great contest.
For his 5th goal and a 21-point Magpie lead, and he's done it, the big man.
Good to see. 7 contested marks now for Travis Cloak, and this is great for the whole final series because these sort of players normally come to the fore in September, the tall marking forwards, and well documented the year that he's had. Good to see him come into some form tonight.
He watches that one very closely. And Travis Cloak with goal number 5, the Magpies by 21.
And well done, Nick Maxwell, the skipper, takes the intercept mark, doesn't muck around with it. He knows he's got an in-form key forward. He just bangs it in 20 metres out.
Bombers need to score very quickly. Cramery. Maxwell just clears it of the danger area. Zaharakis, who's missed big portions of the year this year through injury.
Travis Cloak at the moment, he just wants the ball coming anywhere near him, and it's frustrating sometimes when you're in his position and players up the ground don't sense that, whereas Maxwell did then. He just thought, I'm just going to get it in there because I know Cloak's taken 14 or 15 marks. If it gets anywhere near him at the moment, he's going to take it.
Off hands, and it'll be a certain free to Pendlebury, I think it is.
I reckon there are 7 teams right now who are absolutely fuming at Essendon. Richo mentioned how they've conceded marks inside 50. Well, they've well and truly played Travis Cloak into some form. Credit to him, he's really worked hard again tonight. But he's up and about, and that makes Collingwood a very different team come finals time.
Yeah. And are you of the same reckoning as Richo that Dawes probably not at this stage, Lingy, or how do you see it?
Oh, very hard to change a winning formula. I'm with Richo a bit there, but Dawes has got the unfortunate thing that he's not going to play a game, so he's not going to have any form to show to Bucks. So could be tough, but I appreciate what you're saying, BT. Cloak on fire makes it a lot easier for Dawes.
Yeah. O'Brien, a couple of early goals in this game. Cramery should have perhaps extended the arms then. Marked it in the Jukes. Johnson pressed up against the behind line, gave it to O'Brien, who's got a lot of space and time. He didn't realise it initially, but now he does. Loves to run, good presentation for Solo. Slick hands to Didak, who's really given them some lively run. Kick to a two-way duel. Hardingham does really well in the air. Great athleticism, Kyle Hardingham. Back to Hibbert.
Travis Cloak's taken 14+ marks in a game 4 times in his career, 3 of them against the Bombers.
Here's Shaw, loves to run, took a bounce, 40, closing, Pies!
Yeah, he's enjoying that, he's Shaw. And I'm enjoying seeing him in the forward half of the ground. He's coming off a rest now. But as we mentioned before, it's going to be a different forward setup for the Magpies, we think, next week. So maybe it's going to be a bit of Heath Shaw, a bit of Dane Swan. Mix it up a bit and see if they can create something a bit new.
There's the turnover kick, the interception by Shaw, and he loves this. and really hammered it home. Don't forget, joining us directly after the game tonight, the CEO of the AFL, Andrew Demetrio, will tell us when, where and who for the first week of the finals. Stay with us for that. Jolly. We know that with a 27-point lead with under 5 remaining, that there is a certain thing now that Collingwood are going to play Hawthorn, Adelaide are going to play Sydney, West Coast and North and Geelong play Freo. It's a matter of where and when now. Beams.
This is a really hard time when you're an Essendon player. You know your season's over. You know this game's done. You can't finish the year on a winning note. You just feel like, why bother? What's there to really achieve out of going hard? And you just want the siren to go, get on with it, finish the season. You can start licking your wounds.
Oh, Lingy, you wouldn't know what that's like. You're normally getting ready to play finals.
True. I must admit, the last time I was here playing in a game of footy, I didn't really have that feeling.
Here he is, Dane Beams, the man that brings his own toilet paper to the MCG. Not happy with the standard issue here. Reckons it's a little rough. He has. Dane Swan tweeted earlier that
Bought his own 3-ply.
Yeah.
Roll with him tonight.
Unusual sort of thing. Unusual behaviour.
Players have routines, Brian.
Hurley wide and finds an opportunity. So a 28-point Collingwood lead here now. And
There, thank you.
I think the biggest thing out of tonight is that, number one, they've secured a top 4 position. The second is the form of Travis Cloak, who now wants it deep and didn't get it.
Another 40 possessions right there for Dane Swan. Just been enormous again tonight.
Harry O'Brien saying, I want an opportunity to score here.
Well, we know no trouble getting the distance, Harry.
Just kicked the 1 goal this year in his 21 games. It's online. It's all about journey, distance. Got it.
Oh, timed it beautifully. Harry O'Brien. Must be a good feeling as a backman wandering down, kicking a long goal, and then you trudge back to the back line and smile at the bloke you're playing on. Sick feeling if you're a forward, though. Just watching the defender gloat about the goal he's just kicked.
Out of the circle, Dane.
Big high ball drop, big follow through from Harry. And a goal on the end of it, and Collingwood by 34. Back in the middle, Swan yet again, another clearance. Collingwood looking better as the game goes along, pulled away. Look at that for Solo. That's what Richo was talking about. Payne let him down there, but Richo's saying he's been 100% in disposals tonight. Zaharakis was good as well, found Melcham. Kicks long to the open, goal square, is it on line? Post.
I'm leaning the other way. I had a few moments to think about it. Chris Dawes being out. They had him play the role all year, and as we can see, this one turned over. Melcham's going to be able to pick it up, but they've been able to gather it again. But I just think a week off, he's been able to collect his thoughts. He's had the disappointment of being dropped. That 2-prong forward option has been their best option, and I reckon he's worth another go.
And I think because of that ruck scenario you were talking about before with Maxwell, they need him for that role. Is that what you think?
Absolutely. I just don't think they can turn up against Hawthorn with Nick Maxwell as their second ruck. It doesn't suit them. It doesn't do Nick Maxwell any favours. Jackson Payne, great young kid's going to be a good player, but I'm just not sure he's ready for a big final against Hawthorn next week.
Okay. Well, it does make sense when you see it in its rawity tonight, where you see Maxwell competing in the ruck, you go, gee, that's a big ask, isn't it?
And Lee Matthews gave Roughhead best on ground last night, the man of the match, and Hale was very good as well. So it's a huge game for Jolly, 1 out.
Johnson just avoiding the tackle, and the little chiseler is good.
The other thing is you need a forward who's going to get dangerous enough to keep Gibson accountable, because if you don't, he'll just be climbing all over Cloak all night.
That's a great point, Richo. I reckon you've hit it perfectly there. That's the key to beating Hawthorn. If you can keep Gibson out of going third man up, give your key forward an opportunity to get in a one-on-one. They are vulnerable. You've got to have somebody who can warrant that attention and actually draw their defender to them.
The best we've seen probably that happen this year, Lingy, was when Podsiadly played on Gibson.
Absolutely.
Melksham over the box. No one got a piece of that, I don't think. Unless the umpire said it was touched.
And that night, Podsiadly just kept leading up, taking Gibson away. Because he's dangerous and can draw the football, it gave Hawkins one-out opportunities all night.
So the Bombers' season is going to come to a rather sudden halt after winning 8 of their first 9 games. A major collapse, mainly, well, in fact, entirely through injury. In the end, it just wore them down and they ran out of troops, really.
For Essendon fans, I firmly believe that the short-term future is really strong. I think they can stay injury-free. I think the next 3 years are going to be really exciting at Essendon. The bones of a really good side.
Have a look at this. Cloak wants to put Shaw into some open space, but Hardingham's going to interrupt the party.
Yeah, players like this have taken the next step for me. It's just a matter of getting them all out on the park for a full season.
I think there's no question if they've got high percentage of the list available there.
Oh, yeah.
They're a top 8, even a top 4 side, aren't they?
They were so exciting. At round 11, their form, I think they're 9-2. And they were playing a great brand of footy through the corridor, exciting, fast. And then obviously just injuries took their toll and they lost all that continuity, but there's plenty to like about their list.
Dynax played himself into this side as well after a couple of good performances from him. So here he is again running to get possession of the ball, but it is going to be Collingwood who are going to finish top 4 and playing yet another qualifying final. They'll take on Hawthorn next weekend. They will be ecstatic about that. And they get the job done by 32 points here. Let's celebrate with the song.